Welcome to this week's episode of the Texan News Scoop, your weekend review of this week's top stories from the campus, region, and beyond. Today is September 25th, 2015, and I'm Katie Tonkin. This week's top stories are Delta Zeta's annual Change for Change event, VOIOTX special event, Waxahachie honors aviation history, Pope Francis addresses clergy sex abuse, and Chinese company's agreement with Boeing. In campus news, Delta Zeta held their annual Change for Change event Wednesday night. Money raised at this event went towards Delta Zeta's Philanthropy, the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and the Painted Turtle Camp. Here's a video of the event and an exclusive interview with the person in charge.
Hi, my name is Cayten White. I'm Delta Zeta's Philanthropy Chair. This event is for Starkey Hearing Foundation, and they're saying it's so the world may hear.
Hi, I'm here with Cayten White, Delta Zeta's Executive Chairman, and Philanthropy Chairman, sorry. We're going to talk about Delta Zeta's annual Change for Change event. Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, tell us a little bit about the event. Like, what was it for?
So, Change for Change was for Starkey Hearing Foundation. It's like it's our national philanthropy. As Delta Zetas, we just pledged to raise $5 million for Starkey in the next 5 years, so we're really pushing like the big efforts, big events for Starkey and everything. So it's a change for Starkey and everything like that. So it was just a fun little get together for it.
Yeah. So I also heard it was to raise money for the Painted Turtle.
Yes, that's our national service project. So a portion of that does go to Painted Turtle, but mostly like the chunk of it will go to Starkey and everything. Like we kind of switched gears on philanthropy, not in a bad way or anything, but we made that pledge, like I told you a minute ago, to raise more money for Starkey because they're helping us so much and for Delta Zetas and everything. So
that's awesome.
Switched our focus a little bit, but some does go to the Painted Turtle Camp for sure.
Well, that's good. The more the merrier, right?
Yes. We have two really big, awesome philanthropies, so it's awesome. We get to talk about both of them.
Okay. And how many years has Delta Zeta held this event?
This is the second time, so I'm definitely the first year was last year, and like I was a new member last year, so I never would have imagined that I would be in charge of it the next year, but I am so glad that I was, and I'm so proud of Laura Ryland. She was the one who did it last year and everything, and so she really helped me like guide the way, and I just hope it keeps getting bigger and bigger and better and better. Like I hope the next girl like blows me out of the water because I want it to be bigger and better every single year.
That's awesome. Yeah. So did it blow this last year's out of the water a little bit?
No, I mean like I think it's like more well known, and like people like that went to it last year understood like, okay, you have to bring change to get into the event, you know what I mean? So that was a little bit more understood. We did raise a little bit more money than last year, but that's like no matter what. I think that's always going to happen when you have an event like 2 years in a row. But we had a great turnout. I loved having everybody there, and like I loved having all the organizations there, just not the Greeks and everything. So thanks everybody who came out. It was awesome.
Show some unity there.
Yes, it was definitely Tarleton unity, and that's what I loved about it the most, because it wasn't just like Greeks and everything coming out for a good cause.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess with that, it was a big turnout, right?
Yes, it was. Okay, well, the reason I know it was so big because we had 500 hot dogs, and like we ran out in like 30 minutes.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I mean, I understand people eat more than like one hot dog. I mean, I do for sure, but you know what I mean? So I know like we had a lot of people there, and like just looking at the crowd and everything, and having the intramural fields like was awesome too, because we had like more room for people, like just having like that extra space for more people, and having it like so close to the road and everything, people like stopped and looked and like came in and everything, so that was fun.
That's awesome. And so how much money did Delta Zeta raise this year?
It was $5,143. So
that is awesome.
Yes, it's
congratulations.
$2,000 more than last year, so it's keep building. It's awesome.
The more the better.
Yes,
I mean, it all goes towards those philanthropies.
It's a lot of quarters and pennies and dimes and nickels, but it's fine. Like it's a lot of.
Oh, I bet y'all had to stay there a long time to count all that change.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, we're fast counter and change people. Like we count and count and count and count all day long. But it was so worth it. I would do it all over again. All over again. I would sit on the floor, count pennies for hours to do it all over again for them.
It's good. It's good. I don't think I'd have the patience for that.
You do it whenever it's something like I love our philanthropy and everything, and it's something that we all like really, really hold near and dear to our hearts and everything. So
that's good.
It's worth it.
That's good. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I guess thank you for interviewing me and everything.
Of course.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody that came out. Change for Change. It wouldn't have happened without everybody, like the whole Greek community, the whole Tarleton community, my sisters and everything. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me again.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming out.
No problem.
In local news, according to the Stephenville Empire-Tribune, Jonathan Weiss, a member of the local veterans group VOIOTX, announced there will be a special event in Stephenville City Park today from 3 to 6 p.m. This event will assist vets with signing up for education and/or medical benefits. VIOTX is working towards bringing a veterans medical clinic to Stephenville. The group says the area is currently underserved and the vets must usually travel outside the county for services. Weiss says Representative Roger Williams is expected to attend, as well as Mayor Kenny Weldon. In regional news, according to the Associated Press, today Waxahachie's aviation history will be honored at Midway Regional Airport with a plaque dedicated in recognition of aviator Bessie Coleman's flight to Waxahachie. The event will be held from 5:30 to 7 p.m. and is free to the public. Coleman grew up in Waxahachie and earned her pilot's license in France in 1921 and is the first African-American female pilot. Judy Demoni, the Midway Airport manager, said, "We are doing this in conjunction with the Chautauqua Assembly, with this year's theme being Celebrate Flight. From the airport's standpoint, we are going to celebrate our Waxahachie native, Bessie Coleman, by honoring her with a plaque at the airport commemorating her 90th anniversary of her return to Waxahachie, where she had an aerobatic performance at what is now SAGU." In national news, according to the Associated Press, Pope Francis praised American bishops on Wednesday for their generous commitment towards helping victims of clergy sex abuse. This drew angry backlash from advocates who said the bishops acted only under the threat of hundreds of lawsuits. The Pope said to loud applause from the bishops, "I realize how much the pain of recent years has weighed upon you, and I have supported your generous commitment to bring healing to victims, in the knowledge that in healing we too are healed, and to work to ensure that such crimes will never be repeated." However, Ann Barrett Doyle, co-director of BishopAccountability.org, an advocacy group that collects records on abusive priests from around the world, called the Pope's remarks distressing and quite off base. In international news, according to the Associated Press, Chinese companies agreed with Boeing to buy 300 jets and build an aircraft assembly plant in China. The news comes on Chinese President Xi Jinping's first full day in the U.S., where he visited the Boeing Payne Field assembly plant. Here's a video from the Associated Press.
As part of this collaboration, the Chinese government and Boeing are announcing orders and commitments for 300 airplanes that will provide tremendous benefit to Renton, Everett, as well as more than 2,000 suppliers in this region and around the world. And President Xi, we earnestly thank you for that airplane order.
And then this is just a very small first class.
The largest windows in the industry.
大家早上好，我们在这儿的播音工厂。
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the Texan News Scoop, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton campus in Stephenville, Texas. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and visit our website at www.texannews.net. Today's show was produced by Alejandra Araguin and Jack Cochran, and I'm Katie Tonkin. Have a great weekend, Tarleton Texans.